Hi guys, welcome back to ladensercrotchets. It's been a minute since I uploaded a tutorial on this channel, but we're back with another creation. In this one, we are creating a cover-up dress that can double up as a dress top. And I hope you're going to enjoy recreating this. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and let's get into the tutorial. The requirements are a medium weight yarn, any medium weight yarn of your choice, a 4mm crochet hook, a measuring tape, a darning needle, a stitch marker or two, and a pair of scissors. You'll need these two main measurements, the widest part of your body and the full length of the dress that you're making. You're going to take the widest part divided by 4. Mine is 45 by 4, which is 11.25. I can approximate this to 11.5 or 12. Then the full length is 28, and we're going to multiply it by 2. And this will be the starting chain of our work. I'll make a slip knot. And then chain. The chain that you're going to make should be a multiple of 4, or a chain that is divisible by 4. So I'm first going to chain the 25 inches. I went on to make a chain of 100, and I'm going to measure this to see whether it gets me to 28. And you're going to measure without stretching. So as you can see, that will get me to close to 28, and that is okay. Remember, the starting chain should be a multiple of 4, and 100 is a multiple of 4. After you get to 100, you're going to get your stitch marker and mark the 100th chain. So that is the exact middle of your dress at the top, on the shoulders. Then you're going to chain 100 more. So if you started with 100, you'll chain 100 again. If you started with 120, you'll add another 120. I've done the other 100 chains, and at this point I'm at 200 chains. Once you're done with the chain, you're going to add 2 more chains. And then you're going to hold the last chain that you've just done and chain 1 more. Go into that chain that you're holding with a single crochet. A single crochet, you insert the hook into the chain, yarn over and grab a loop to get 2 loops on the hook. Then yarn over and pull through 2. Go into the next chain and do another single crochet. Into the next chain, you'll do a single crochet, and you're going to do a single crochet all the way along. So my starting chain was 200 plus 2, so it's going to be, I'm going to have 202 single crochets. If your starting chain was 240, you're going to have 242. So just go on, place a single crochet into every chain till you get to the point where you started chaining. I'm in the last chain, and I've just placed the last single crochet in that chain, and row 1 is done. We're going to begin row 2, and we begin row 2 by chaining 3. The chain 3 is going to act as our first double crochet. So after chaining 3, turn your work to the other side and begin in the second stitch. So you're going to yarn over, this is the first stitch, you're going to go into the next stitch, yarn over and pull a loop. You'll have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2, and that will be a double crochet. So we have 2 double crochets at the beginning. Then you're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, then yarn over, skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, into the third one, do a double crochet, and do a double crochet into the next stitch. Then you're going to chain 2, yarn over and skip 2 stitches, then do 2 consecutive double crochets, so the first one and the second, then chain 2, skip 2, do a double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So we're going to do 2 double crochets with 2 chains in between, and we are skipping 2 stitches all the way to the end. So chain 2, at the end you should have 4 stitches remaining, and you're going to chain 2, skip 2, and then you'll do 2 double crochets in the last 2 single crochets. And there we're done with row 2. We're going to chain 3 and turn to begin row 3. That's our first double crochet, so we're going to skip over to the second double crochet and do a double crochet there. Then chain 2, skip over to the double crochets and do double crochets. Chain 2, double crochets, 2 of them. Chain 2, double crochets on the top of the previous 2 double crochets. Chain 2, and keep going to the end of row 3. So you're just doing the 2 double crochets and the 2 chains in between all the way to the end. So make sure that at the end you have your 2 double crochets, and the last double crochet is going to be in the chain 3 that we did on top of the chain 3. That's the end of row 3. You're going to chain 3 and turn to begin row 4, and we're going to work row 4 and row 5 same way we've done row 2. So I'm going to go on work my row 4 and 5, then I'll be back to show you how to work row 6 because we're working row 6 differently. I'm done with the 5 rows. So for row 6, we're going to chain 1 and turn. And we're going to do single crochets in every stitch. 1 single crochet in every stitch, beginning with the first one, do a single crochet. If you want to change your colors, now should be the time to do that as you do the single crochets. Then a single crochet into the next stitch. Into the chain 2 stitch, you're going to place 2 single crochets. You'll get to the double crochets and place 1 single crochet into each of them. Then 2 single crochets in the chain 2 stitch. A single crochet on top of each of the double crochets. And repeat this to the end. Make sure you place your last single crochet in the chain 3 stitch. And that's row 6 done. We're going to chain 3 and turn to begin row 7. Now for row 7, we're going to work it the same way we worked row 2. So we're going to begin with a double crochet into the second stitch. Then we're going to chain 2. Then count 1, 2 into the third stitch, do a double crochet and a double crochet into the next stitch. Then chain 2, skip 2, do 2 double crochets next, 1 into the next, 1 into every stitch. Then you're going to chain 2, skip 2, then the 2 double crochets and repeat to the end. Now we're going to do, as you can see, we have 4 rows of double crochets and chains between the single crochet rows. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this is the first one. I'm going to do the 4 rows. Then after the 4 rows of double crochets and the chains, we're going to do the single crochet row. And you want to continue with this pattern till you get the measurement that we did, a quarter of the widest part of your body. And when you're measuring, this is how you measure. We're going to measure without stretching because we want our dress to be a bit oversized. So now at this point, as you can see, I'm at about 3.5. I'm going to work till I get to between 11 and 12 inches. That will be okay for me. So I'll keep going with this pattern and I'll be back once I'm done with that, a quarter of the widest part of my body. So just keep going till you get your measurements. Right here, I've done a total of 25 rows, actually 26 if you count the last single crochet row that I've just done. And this gives me a quarter of, or the measurement that I was going for, which was between 11.5 to 12. And we can measure these to confirm without stretching. As you can see, that gets me to 12 inches. And I'm done with the first half of the dress. Now next, make sure that before you do this next row, you've done the single crochet row like me. So your last row should be a single crochet before starting this next row that is going to take us to the next piece, or to the next half of the dress. Now you're going to chain 1 and turn. And for this row, you need to get the total number of the stitches that you've done. Mine are 202 and divide it by 2, and that will give me 101. Then you're going to take 101 minus 30, and that will give me 71. So I'm going to work a total of 71 single crochets from this point. So just work while counting till I get to 71, or till you get to whatever number you've gotten after dividing the number of stitches by 2 and subtracting 30. So those are 3. I'll just keep going with 1 single crochet till I get to 71 stitches. I've gotten to my 71 single crochets. Now, after this, I'm going to chain 60. That is, I'm taking the 30 multiplied by 2. So chain 60 from this point. This is standard for all the sizes. So whatever size you're working, you're going to chain 60 from this point. So that's 1. I have my 60 chains, and now from this point, you're going to count 60 stitches from this point to this point. So I've already counted and marked the 60th stitch, and now you're going to join your chain. Make sure that the chain is not twisted, and join it on the 61st stitch. This stitch after my stitch marker, do a single crochet. And now we're going to do a single crochet all the way to the end, and the number of single crochets that you have on this side should be the same as the ones that you had on this other side. So I had 71. I should be able to get 71 stitches all the way down. So now this gap right here is the part where we're going to have our, or the part that you're going to wear over your head, this part right here. And it's going to form a V at the back and a V at the front. So now just keep going. Once you get to the end, you're going to chain 1 and work a single crochet on all the stitches, including the chain, all the way back to this end. So I'm going to do this row of single crochets to the end, and then I'll do another row of single crochets. So in total, at the middle, we're going to have 3 rows of single crochets. So this is my second one. I'll just do this second one, and then I'll do the third. And then you should ensure that your stitch count remains the same. So be very careful not to miss any stitch, or not to add onto more stitches. So my total number of stitches is 202. So at the end of the third row of single crochets, I should still have 202 stitches. So this right here is after my 3 rows of single crochets, and that last row of single crochet that I've just worked is our first row of the second half of the top. So now everything from this point will be the same as how we worked on this side. So we began with the single crochet row, then we did this row, the second row. So I'm going to chain 3 and turn to begin row 2 of that second half of the dress. So now you're going to begin in the second stitch with a double crochet, because the chain 3 of course acts as our first double crochet, and then you're going to chain 2. You're going to yarn over and skip 2 stitches, and then work 2 single crochets, 1 into each of the next 2 stitches like that. Then you're going to chain 2, skip 2, and work 2 double crochets into 2 consecutive stitches. Then you're going to chain 2, skip 2 again, and work the double crochets. Then you're going to repeat to the end. Now to work this part, you can rewind back to the start of the video if you do not remember what you did, and you're going to repeat these rows same way we did on this side. I'm going to do a total of 25 rows. I'm in row 2 now, so I'll meet you back here once I have the second half of the dress, or once I have done my 25 rows. So make sure that the number of rows that you did on this side are the same number of rows that you're going to do on this other side. Right here, I'm done with the second half of the dress, and this is what we have. As you can see, this is the middle part. This is the part that goes over the shoulders, that is on the neck, and these are the sides. So what we're going to do is we're going to join the sides, and as we do that, we're going to leave some space for the sleeves. So just put the two ends together like this and fold your work into two. So when you do that, this is what you're going to have. Now we're going to do the joining on this side, and then we're going to do that same thing on the other side. So just determine your middle stitch, and once you do, you're going to measure out the sleeve, the length of the sleeve that you want on top right here. Then for me, I want the sleeve to be the armhole should be 8 inches. It could be 9, it could be 7, depending on the size that you want. So I measure it out, and then we'll start joining from the bottom, coming up until you get to the point where you want your sleeve to reach. So from this point, I'll just chain 1 and turn my work, then insert my hook into the first stitch on this end, then I'll get the other end and insert the hook on the first stitch on that other side right here. Then yarn over and grab a loop so that you have 2 loops on your hook, then yarn over, pull through the 2 loops to complete a single crochet. Then you're going to go into the next stitch, and the next on the other side, do a single crochet, go to the 3rd stitch on this side and the 3rd stitch on the other side and do a single crochet. Those are 3. Go into the 4th one and the 4th on the other side and complete a single crochet. Then you're going to keep working till you leave out a space for your armhole. So let me do that, then I'll let you know the number of stitches that I'm going to leave on the top part. So I've worked my single crochets to this point, and at that point we have the armhole of the 8 inches. So when you measure this out, when I measure it, it's getting me to 8 or something close to 8 inches. It's actually 9, and I can work with 9, or I can do 2 more stitches to get me to the 8 inches. So 2 more single crochets, joining 2 corresponding stitches, and at this point I've left a total of 52 stitches in this armhole all the way around, and that means 26 on this side, 26 on the other side. If you want yours like bigger, you could leave 28 or 30 on either side. If you leave 30 on either side, that means the total number of stitches that you're going to leave out here are 30 or 60. That is 30 on one side, 30 on the other side. Then at the end, you're going to chain 1 and cut off the yarn at that point. Then pull through and fasten, and this side is done. So we're just going to turn our work to the other side, and then we're going to reattach the yarn in the first stitch on this side and the first stitch on the other side. Then just get the yarn, reattach it like this, chain 1 at that point, go back into that first stitch and do a single crochet. So the first stitch on both sides, we join in them. Now as I work on this side, I'm going to work over these two ends. Then put your hook into the second stitch and the second stitch on the other side, and complete a single crochet into the third stitch and the third on the other side, and then just keep joining till you have the same number of stitches remaining on top. So in my case, all the way around they were 52, that is 26 on one side, 26 on the other side. So I'm going to do that till I have the 26 or the 52 stitches remaining on this side, and then the joining on the sides of the dress will be done. I'll be back once I'm done with this joining, then I'll show you what to do next. I'm done joining the other side, and at this point, this is how the dress should look like. If you want, you can attach the fringe, but if you don't, you can leave it like that. So I'm just going to turn my dress to the other side, and then at the bottom parts, I'm going to attach some fringes at the bottom. So if you want your dress like this, at this point you're done. You just need to weave in your ends, and then you can wear it. To create the fringes, I'm going to use this notebook because I want fringes of this length. You could use a cardboard depending on the length of the fringe that you want. So I'll go with this notebook. And what I'm going to do is I'll get 2 strands. You could get more than 2 if you want to work the fringes faster. So what I do is I put the yarn around the notebook like this. And then I'll just keep going till I've created enough to go all the way around the bottom part of the dress. So just keep going round and round. Now when you're done going all the way around, we're going to cut the yarn at this point where the ends are. So we're going to cut at this along this line. So let me just go on. So once you have the yarn that you want, remember the ends are on this side. You're just going to get your pair of scissors and cut the yarn at that bottom part. You could use a razor or whatever is easier for you to cut with. So now here I have my fringes ready. I'm just going to get my dress and start attaching them at the bottom parts. So I'll get like 4 of them, fold it into 2. Make sure that you're folding it into half. Then get your hook, put your hook through the bottom stitch right here, grab the the fringe like this, then pull it through and tighten. Then we can move to the next row, or you can skip one row. So I'm just going to skip a row and attach into the next one. If I realize that I need to attach into all the rows, then I can do that later. So I'll get 4 pieces of the fringe, align them, make sure that they are the same length on each side, hold them into half, put your hook into that stitch, grab it, the fringe, and then yarn over and pull through, then fasten or tighten. Now next we're going to skip the next row and we're going to attach into the row that follows for these. Just align them, divide them into half, or hold them at the middle, put your hook through, grab the fringe, then yarn over and pull through, then fasten. And then keep going. We move on to the next one after skipping 4 of these. So we've skipped this row, we're going into the next one and attaching that fringe. I'll keep going like this till I go all the way around the bottom part of the dress. So we're skipping this row, going into the next one. Once you have your fringes in place, you can trim them off to your desired length, and then you'll be done with the cover-up dress. If you've enjoyed this tutorial, please do not forget to leave a like, do not forget to comment, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and see you in the next tutorial.